Welcome back, folks, to Random Video Blog Friday, where I give my rambling thoughts in the world of wrestling and everything else going on in the world around me, share some stories, etc., etc. So currently I'm on vacation up in New Hampshire, and because I've been so busy going places and doing stuff and whatever, just kind of catching up on WWE Network content, writing reviews, not many articles this week, all that kind of stuff, kind of taking a break from. It's been awesome, great vacation so far. It's Wednesday as I record this. But originally, as of a couple days ago, well, first of all, I'm not using my microphone. That's why the quality of the video is not too great. I actually just have my laptop on my lap as it is. I have the HD camera hooked up, not 2 HD, but you know what I mean. The same camera we use every week. I just don't have the microphone hooked up, so it's not the same quality per usual. Just kind of putting this thing together at the last minute. But the point I'm trying to make is that originally, as of a couple days ago, I was going to put up a video blog from that I recorded a couple months ago about a story I shared about John Laurinaitis, a personal experience with him from a couple years ago, whatever. I was going to put that up on Friday because I didn't think I'd have any time to film any new content. Well, I did have some time in between a few things. We're going out later, but I did have a few minutes to spare, and I thought I would take this time to share a little bit of a story with you from this past weekend that I thought was interesting. So anyway, as I mentioned before, I talked about this months ago, how house shows, and live events for WWE, you don't want to miss them. They can be a ton of fun. I went to one back in February 28th, in Bridgeport, Connecticut, and it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. And yeah, you never want to miss a house show just because it's not a Raw or a SmackDown or a pay-per-view, which are always great. Don't get me wrong. My favorite wrestling event that I've ever been to actually came 1 year ago yesterday, the live Raw, June 30th from Hartford, Connecticut. That's where the Miz returned, T-shirt reference. Jericho came back, the greatest show I've ever been to, and likely will never be topped until SummerSlam, maybe later on this year. That's another video for another day. Later on next month, actually. Now it's July as I record this. But house shows are always great. You never want to miss one. And, just when they come to your area, go. Just because it's not a Raw, go to the show. You can have a fun time. The tickets are usually cheap. And the reason I bring this up is this. And as I mentioned, I did a whole video blog on house shows before. That's not exactly what this is. But back in January, I got tickets to a SmackDown show on the Tuesday after I came back to campus. It was the Tuesday after the Rumble pay-per-view in Boston. I go to school up in the Beverly area of Massachusetts, which is right near Boston. I could take the train right from where my school is in the Beverly area to Boston to the TD Garden. It's right there. Would have worked out perfectly. I bought the tickets in early December. I was going to go with my roommate. It was going to be a fun time. Unfortunately, because of that massive snowstorm I got hit with right after I got back to school, all up in the Northeast, but especially the Boston area, that show got canceled. They rescheduled SmackDown Raw got canceled too in Hartford the night prior. And then the SmackDown that was on that Tuesday got scheduled for the Thursday, and that was in Hartford. So Boston didn't get any shows at all. So, since I already bought the tickets, they gave me two options: to either get a refund for my money or to exchange those tickets to a live event on June 27th at that same venue, the TD Garden in Boston. So obviously I went with the refund for a couple reasons. One being that I could use that money from the refund to put towards the SummerSlam tickets, which I thought I would end up getting a couple months later. That two, I don't even live in the Boston area. Like I said, I live in Connecticut. I don't even live up there. I'm out of school. I've been out of school for the last 2 months now. Semester ended in late May, so I would have to drive all the way up there for that one show. And it's a house show. What's the worst that can happen? And I'll get into that in a second. And you probably already know where this is going. But it's a house show. I've been to a ton of them before. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to a house show probably the Friday before SummerSlam that I might be able to get free tickets to in Bridgeport, Connecticut, and that's just a lot easier to get to than Boston. Those two reasons, I figured I'd probably be working, I'd have to take the time off, and I knew I'd be going on vacation this week. It'd be a little bit too much, so I said I wouldn't go. And it's not a huge regret because, like I said, you had all these different factors. It's not like I live in Boston. I said, I'll pass on it, whatever. But originally I did have tickets to that show, but I got my refund back instead because I figured I probably would not be able to go, and it wouldn't work out too well. So on Saturday, I come home from work. I was working 4 to 10 on Saturday. I get home and I find out the fucking Rock showed up at that house show. His first house show appearance in over 10 years, since at least 02 or I don't even know what year, well over 10 years ago. did Rock make his last house show live event appearance for WWE. And it's only because he was in the area filming for his latest movie, Central Intelligence, with Kevin Hart, which I've seen him post about a lot about on Twitter and Instagram, whatever. I'm not on Instagram. I've just seen him, on the dirt sheets, whatever. So he's in the area filming for that new movie, so they figured he would just show up. No rumors, no buzz, no anything. Just randomly he showed up. They put the full video on YouTube, which made me feel even more bad about myself. The whole segment with Bo Dallas, it was huge. I heard the place went crazy. And as they should have. I mean, the fucking Rock showed up. How many shows do you go to and you think the Rock is going to appear? You know what I mean? So that's crazy. And I was kicking myself the next day that I didn't go to that show. And it's not like, Sheamus made a return or John Cena. It's the fucking Rock, and I've never seen him live. He's among the few people that I've always wanted to see live. I've seen almost every active member of the current roster, with the obvious exceptions of, because the last Raw that I went to, the last WWE event that I went to was, back in February, but even before then, are Neville, the Lucha Dragons, and I think Kevin Owens. But other than that, though, I've seen most, if not all, of the main roster members in person at one point or another in the 7 years I've been a wrestling fan for. With the exceptions of Hulk Hogan, Brock Lesnar, and The Rock, and Stone Cold, and a few of those guys. But Lesnar, Hogan, and Rock are the ones that tend to show up the most frequently on WWE programs. So I really want to catch all those guys. Hopefully I can see one of the three at SummerSlam in August. But that was nuts. And to make it even worse, so on Monday, or yesterday rather, I'm filming this on Wednesday. Yesterday, I'm sitting in the hotel lobby, and I found this little nook, that's a good word, a nook of the hotel lobby to watch Raw on Tuesday afternoon. Or not to watch, I watched Raw there on Monday, but to watch Tough Enough there on Tuesday. So I'm watching, and they had the Raw replay on before Tough Enough, so I'm watching that. I wanted to go downstairs, catch a seat, make sure my place was still there so I could watch Raw there, or watch Tough Enough there, rather, from the night prior. And I'm turned on Raw, I'm on my laptop, whatever. Some guy walked by, and I also ran into some guy that was wearing a John Cena shirt in the lobby on Monday, which was pretty funny. We both complimented each other on our shirts. I was wearing a Hulk Hogan shirt, he was wearing a John Cena shirt from last year. But anyway, a different guy came up, he saw that I was watching Raw, and he said, "Are you a wrestling fan?" And I'm wearing my Ultimate Warrior t-shirt, and I'm like, hell yeah, I'm a wrestling fan. And he said, "Well, I don't watch the product anymore, I'm not a current fan, my kids watch it, I haven't watched it in a while, but," and I was at that show on Saturday, I'm like, oh no, I know exactly where this is going. I was like, yeah, I know, I was supposed to be there. I originally got tickets for the show on Saturday, for the show in Boston back in January. He said, yeah, me too, and it got snowed out, so I went to the live event with my kids. And he said that, I haven't watched in so long, but seeing The Rock come out unannounced, I knew I was there for something special. It brought back memories of my childhood. It was awesome, and I guess he lives in the Boston area, so that's why he went. And we just so happened to be in New Hampshire on vacation, so it's pretty funny just how those kind of things work. And I was like, oh man, that sucks, for me anyway, but for you, that's awesome. And I'm like, oh man, I'm making myself feel even more bad about myself that I wasn't out at that show, but I'm sure I'll be able to see The Rock live at some point or another during my long tenure as a wrestling fan in the years to come. But that was pretty funny. But I thought I would figure I would share that story. It kind of ties in with the whole house show thing from over the weekend and me being on vacation, whatever. It kind of ties into the whole thing. And also, when I was at Santa's Village yesterday, one of the theme parks up in here in the New Hampshire area, I actually ran into a couple people that recognized my Warrior t-shirt. One person complimented me, a couple people complimented me on my Warrior t-shirt. I said, "I like your shirt, that's cool." Or they said that to me, and it was pretty cool. But wrestling fans are awesome. I mean, you don't need me to tell you that. I can title this video, "Wrestling Fans Are Awesome." I mean, but that's pretty self-explanatory. They pretty much are the best fan base in the world, if I do say so myself. I'm pretty biased in that respect. But, still, I figured I would share that story from this past week, kind of tying everything together, and hopefully you enjoyed. It's kind of not very much a brief video blog. It is brief in comparison to some of the other video blogs I put up here on the channel. The one from last week, from the Tough Enough one, went like 25 minutes. This one's only short of 10. But anyway, though, hopefully you guys are doing well. We're halfway past 2015. I've made a big deal about this on Twitter and Facebook and whatever, but thank you for your awesome support. You guys are great. It's been a fantastic year, easily my favorite and best year to date. I mean, I'm 20 years old, but you know what I mean, just in recent memory anyway, wrestling-wise, personally-wise, everything. It's been an awesome year, and I'm looking forward to what the rest of the year holds going forward. But as always, folks, and I apologize for the shaky cam. I keep on slapping the bed that I'm on right now. So stupid of me. But anyway, guys, If you want to continue to support the channel and me and whatever, if you want to, you don't have to. I'm not begging you here, but you can like, comment, share, and subscribe. Find me on Twitter for all the latest ramblings, my updates and whatever on vacation, and my wrestling thoughts on Tough Enough Raw and everything else at WrestleRant on Facebook at facebook.com/graham.gsm.matthews. And also visit the website, nextairwrestling.net. Like I said before, reviews aren't going up as quickly as they usually do because I'm on vacation this week, kind of taking a break. Articles next to none this week for Bleacher Report, What Culture, Hidden Remote, all those websites I'm mostly taking a break from. I'll be back to business next week with more articles and whatnot. So stay tuned for that. And again, guys, you are the best in the world. To quote CM Punk, you guys are great. Thank you so much. Have an awesome week. I'll catch you guys after my vacation. By the time this goes up, I'll probably already be home on Friday. But still, I'm looking forward to what the rest of the week holds. So enjoy your summer vacation. Have a phenomenal rest of 2015. I'm Graham Jason Matthews, and I'll catch you guys down the road.